One of the core pillars of blueprints is discovery. Because it is such a vital part of this game's execution, this review is going to be slightly different. Usually, I like to do a deep dive into the core mechanics or talk about that special X factor that makes a game unique. In this case, I don't want to spoil your experience in even the slightest way, so I am going to try to keep things very abstract, focusing on what kind of game this is, how it feels to play, and why I think you should definitely put some time aside to experience it. You play as Simon, a young boy who has arrived at his late uncle's old mansion. As you enter, you find a note. It explains that if you can find the hidden 46th room, this mansion will be yours. On the surface, this may seem like just another escape room in reverse, but there is one more genre mixed in that completely reshapes this game's identity. It is also a roguelike. This mansion is not just any building. Each time you open a door, you will be given a choice of 3 rooms. This determines which room that door leads to. At the end of each day, the whole mansion will reset. This means that each day the layout will be different. Your choices also define which rooms the mansion can contain on any given day. This subtle twist creates something new, more than just a reverse escape room, a mystery puzzle roguelike. A quick note before I continue. I am very serious about not spoiling a single thing in this game. I don't want to show too much, so there will be some repeated video. I will try to include as much unique, non-spoiler footage as I can. I think that the best way to talk about blueprints is to talk about one of its core concepts rather than the game itself. Knowledge-based progression is something that we don't often see in games, but it has been growing in popularity recently. I consider Outer Wilds to be the gold standard of this progression model, and I think that it is the best example to explain what this concept means. In Outer Wilds, you are an astronaut in a very small solar system who is stuck in a time loop. The game does not explain anything about what you should be doing, and it is totally up to you to spend each loop learning about the mechanics and the world around you. There are no unlocks, gear, or equipment that can be brought with you between loops. The only thing you keep is what you, as a person, has learnt about the game. This model challenges how we approach the concept of progression in gaming. Typically, progress is made by unlocking gear, improving your skill level, or reaching certain checkpoints, making tangible marks in the game you are playing. Knowledge-based progression replaces all of that. Finishing the game is available from the first time you play, but that doesn't mean you have the know-how to get it done. Your attention is not only demanded, but also required to progress. You are forced to experiment and learn, rather than mindlessly roll through checkpoints or persistently bash your head against difficult encounters. Knowledge-based progression is arguably the most innovative and redefining changes I have seen in recent years. Games that make use of this concept are relatively new in my experience, and I do believe that they deserve their own genre. I have heard terms like Knowledgevania, Metroidbrania, or my favorite, wildslike. And while I'm not sure which of these are going to stick with the community going forward, I am very excited to see that Blueprints has made excellent use of this concept. As mentioned before, Blueprints is set in an ever-changing mansion, where Outer Wilds used a real timer, only giving you around 20 minutes per loop. This uses steps instead. Entering a room costs 1, and you start each day with 50 steps. When you reach 0, the day ends, therefore resetting the mansion and putting you back to square one. This limit has 2 major impacts on the gameplay. Firstly, because there is no timer, you have as much time as you want to explore each room. This feels so good. There is so much detail hidden between the walls of each room. If you were pressured to rush through them, it would have completely ruined the game's pacing. Being able to explore at your own speed is part of what makes this more approachable and so much more enjoyable. Secondly, because your steps count down between rooms, it introduces an element of strategy. Which rooms you choose, the order you want to enter them, or if they are worth stepping into at all. These are important decisions that you need to make. Limited steps make you think about what you really want to achieve in a run. Are you aiming for the end goal of reaching the hidden room, or are you trying to learn more about the secrets this house contains? There is an encouraging ebb and flow between failure and discovery. Sometimes you know that you are going to hit a dead end, but you also know that you will learn something from it. Ending a run doesn't feel like a loss, because tomorrow you can make use of what you learned today. I have spoken about knowledge-based progression and how it is woven into the game's core, but there is another element here that I don't think a lot of players will enjoy: randomness. Each time you open a door, there will be 3 randomly generated room options. These rooms may contain some randomly placed items to help you, things like coins or keys, which you may or may not need as you get deeper into the mansion. This is a large aspect of the game, and I think that it'll be a big reason as to why many people may not have the patience this game requires. I'm not saying that you need to be very lucky to be able to finish the game. Actually, the opposite. There are many ways that you can influence the odds of which rooms appear, or the order in which they do. You have a tremendous amount of power in your choices, but you need to learn how to wield it. This will turn many players away. I think that a lot of people will see the randomness and begin to blame it for their inability to reach the end. Yes, there are some coin flips and dice rolls, but it can be overcome with experience. Learning how to manipulate the mansion in your favor is part of the game, and I hope that you don't let the random aspect dissuade you from playing. I mentioned that knowledge-based progression means you do not unlock new things to progress. And while that is true, in blueprints there are also meta unlocks. Let me explain. These are not necessary to finding the hidden room, but rather act as benefits for exploring off the beaten path. While you certainly can finish the game without them, these upgrades, that vary in size, will help you to get through the mansion more consistently. At first, I wasn't sure how to feel about these. They are helpful and are rewarding to unlock, but they also take away from the true wildslike experience. I have since decided that I do like them. It adds some assistance without changing the core approach of each run. Before I wrap up the gameplay section, I want to say that there are many puzzles in this game. Everywhere you look, there are codes to decipher or secrets to be found. There is so much going on that even the game itself recommends you play with a pen and paper on hand. I certainly agree with this. By the time I finished the game, my notebook was full of cryptic messages and puzzle theories. It's difficult to comment on the puzzles without ruining anything. This is why I won't be saying much, besides the fact that there are a huge range of them, from easy to difficult, all of which feel rewarding when you complete them. I really hope that many of you give this a try, because this may be one of the best puzzle games I have ever played. Similar to the gameplay model, the underlying story is also gathered in pieces. There is a deep history of your family buried in this massive mansion, and each room only contributes a small part to the greater whole. Sometimes learning new things will even cause you to revisit older elements with newfound suspicion or curiosity. It's such an exciting moment when you find a new clue that makes you rethink which members of the family may have had ulterior motives or secret agendas. More than just the main storyline, there are also plenty of other side stories to uncover. These stories were not necessary to the core of the game, but it added such a wonderful layer of immersion. It creates a level of understanding and reasoning behind why some of these mechanics work the way they do. This detailed storytelling was not needed, but it is hugely appreciated. I thoroughly enjoyed my time learning all about this mansion and its inhabitants. Blueprints is another fantastic entry for the wildslike genre, and one that won't soon be forgotten. Its twisting corridors and maze-like hallways allow for repeated playthroughs without ever feeling the same. Its puzzle design is difficult yet doable, and its learning model always feels rewarding. Although some elements may seem completely random at first, given enough time, you will find your way around it. If you are the kind of player that wants something to play in the background, or doesn't like to dig too deeply into puzzles, then I seriously do not recommend Blueprints for you. However, if you are looking for a rare gaming experience that you most likely have never seen before, are willing to learn by trial and error, and enjoy a bit of mental gymnastics, then I highly recommend Blueprints to you. If you have enjoyed this video and would like to see more content like this, my channel is right here. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see next, and I'll see if I can make it happen. Thanks for watching.